Is it? Oh, we're recording. We're not taking a photo. Hello. Hi guys, Dudley here from Wraptor. I just wanted to talk to you about a so-called upgrade with regards to the charge cooler coolant pump on these Jaguars. So we've just had this vehicle in. It's previously been tuned up wear and had fitted a so-called upgraded coolant pump. You can just see to the left of the cooler radiator through the grille there. And I'm not sure if you can see, I'll try and zoom in. What we've got next to that is, there we are, can you see that? That plug is the original plug from the coolant pump, and that's because the supercharger charge cooler pump, one of these, has been replaced with a so-called upgrade. Now the reason this is sort of classified as a so-called upgrade is because the new pump has a higher flow, so that means it pushes more litres of water through the pump every second. But here's the thing, pushing more coolant through the system faster isn't necessarily going to give you any better cooling. Let me explain. So, too slow movement of coolant through the system, of course, can have a negative effect, and if you speed it up, yes, you could potentially gain better cooling. However, if you pump it through the system too fast, that coolant doesn't have time to actually cool before it's passed through the radiator and out the other side. It needs time to travel through that radiator and have the heat extracted from the air rushing through the radiator in order to cool it efficiently. Now Jaguar know this and they've got it worked out. Let me explain to you how the system works. The original pump on the newer Jaguars that looks something similar to that actually is controlled via the ECU and has a variable speed. And what it does is it monitors air intake temperature via this sensor here. That then in turn controls the speed of the coolant pump that is situated next to the radiator charge cooler, and basically turns the speed up and down accordingly to get the most efficient cooling of the supercharger charge cooler system. So this car has had a so-called upgrade from somewhere, which basically means that it's now been hardwired in with 2 wires, not the 3 wires, losing its variable speed control. Without that variable speed control, it loses the ability to keep the cooling as efficient as possible. So now it's just switched on at a high speed and that's it. And unfortunately, during some phases of driving, having the coolant rush through the radiator as fast as possible doesn't actually give it the chance to cool down. So my advice to you supercharged Jaguar owners in regards to the supercharger charge cooler pump is leave it alone. If you have a pump failure and you need to replace your pump, I'd recommend a Bosch unit, not a Chinese one or some of these other ones that I've witnessed fail on multiple occasions after just a few months use. Otherwise, leave it alone. It's set up to do the best efficiency possible using the pump. If you do want to increase your cooling though, what you can do is things like the uprated charge cooler. We do have our own version at Wraptor. It's a very thick one, thickest one on the market actually. and they're handmade, hand fabricated in the UK. Super happy with those. And you can do other things such as separate the charge cooler and the engine cooling system as well. On top of this, we are creating more products to cool these engines as much as possible, because cooling the air intake system does really help. These cars suffer from heat soak because they're supercharged and they're V8, and that big metal supercharger sits in the middle at the top of the engine and just sucks loads of heat in. And if you're going to suck a load of heat into your air intake system, you can lose power and not create the peak power all the time that you want. So to conclude, if you've got a 3-pin coolant pump on your Jaguar, it has the variable speed. If you've got that little sensor in the top of your supercharger, it has the variable speed. And I would not recommend fitting a 2-pin coolant pump that's hardwired and losing that function. I'm Dud from Wraptor. I hope this information helps and is interesting to you. Enjoy the Jags, drive safe.